Donny van de Beek was seen as a clever signing by Manchester United last summer for £35 million, but after not featuring for the team too much, people have questioned why was he signed. Next season though, he could thrive in this team, so here's why Van de Beek will be more important for United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer next season. There's been a lot of stories based on Van de Beek, and we can use the sponsor for this video, OneFootball, to look at what has been said. The headline for this story: Barcelona offered Donny van de Beek deal by Manchester United. As I'll be discussing throughout the video, I don't really think there's much truth to this, but now you at least know what is being said about Donny van de Beek. It says here that Barcelona have reportedly been offered the chance to sign Manchester United midfielder Donny van de Beek in a cut price deal. The Dutch international has struggled to make a regular impact during his first season in English football following a 2020 move from Ajax. OneFootball is great for looking at player stats, and we can see here on Donny van de Beek's profile that he featured in all of Manchester United's 6 Champions League matches. As well as that, he featured in all of Manchester United's 4 FA Cup matches too, so he was getting some game time in the other competitions. However, in the Premier League, he never really got too much of a chance. So to view news articles on all Premier League clubs and player stats for all players in the Premier League, download OneFootball on your phone. All you need to do is simply click the link in the description. It's clear that Donny van de Beek wants more of a chance in the Manchester United first team, but why wasn't he getting that last season? Well, you have to look at the formation. Last season in the 4-2-3-1, I think it was harder for him to come into the first team. And there's 2 reasons as to why it was harder for him to come into the first team. The first being Bruno Fernandes in the attacking midfield position where Donny van de Beek would want to play. Bruno Fernandes was playing fantastically. And then secondly, even when he does come into this formation, it wasn't really suited to Donny van de Beek. The reason for this is due to the style of player that Donny van de Beek is. It isn't the same to what Bruno Fernandes is. Donny likes to get far forward, in the box making runs into areas where he can score, on the defensive line giving his teammates a passing option. To me, this is the perfect example of an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type of player. He talks regularly about adding goals to the team, and finding that goal scoring ability, that goal scoring instinct in different players on the pitch. Van de Beek is a player who gives you exactly that in the midfield, making him a player that Solskjaer would like to play in the midfield. But the way that Donny plays wasn't suited to United's 4-2-3-1. Let's say he comes into the team in that formation for Bruno Fernandes. Donny comes in and is a player wanting the ball in the box, making forward runs, not so demanding of wanting the ball. And when he does receive the ball, he likes to make short but clever passes in small spaces, flick-ons to a teammate, which can be very effective as it opens space in behind. But in this formation for United last season, the attacking midfielder needed to be the one making things happen in the attack. With Fred and McTominay as the central midfielders, they're limited to what they can do in the attack, and mainly they're focused on the defensive side of things for the team. So Bruno Fernandes was perfect in this formation to demand the ball all the time, to link the midfield with the attack, whereas Donny van de Beek could leave spaces open, and that link between the midfield and the attack was missing when he was in the team. Going into next season, it's reported that United are switching to a 4-3-3, which makes it the perfect time for Van de Beek to come into the team. This is the season for him. So let's imagine what that could look like. In this 11, I've got Fernandes next to Van de Beek. The defensive midfielder I think should be a new signing, along with Jadon Sancho on the right, Marcus Rashford on the left wing when he's back fit. You've suddenly got a dynamic attack with players capable of different roles, and also gives a good balance of qualities. It means that Donny van de Beek then fits in nicely alongside Bruno Fernandes and a defensive midfielder, with the cover in midfield defensively of a player capable of sitting back and being disciplined. Also, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who is defensively solid, could be more cautious on the counter-attack, and he'll no longer have to focus too much on overlapping on the right flank with the extra attacking-minded players in the team. The defensive midfielder frees Bruno Fernandes and Donny van de Beek. Fernandes continues to be the midfielder, demanding the ball and making things tick in the midfield with his risky passes and range of passing, therefore meaning that Van de Beek can do what he does best, which is to make runs into the box and get into those positions where he can score goals, as the balance in midfield is there, a big improvement on the Fred and McTominay partnership, who were restricted on how they could influence the attack. He suits this formation and position, but does he get regular game time? This is the big question for him really. The trouble currently is that Paul Pogba is still at the club, massively beneficial to Manchester United, especially after his performances at Euro 2020, but he would take up one of these positions, meaning that Van de Beek wouldn't be a regular starter and instead would be a rotation player. Last season he played 511 minutes of Premier League football. So changing to a rotation player, starting some and coming off the bench for others, his minutes will definitely increase. I see him as a similar player to Juan Mata in the way his movement is very clever to open space for other players to run into. He thinks about his teammates a lot and how he can move into positions where he can receive the ball and quickly lay off a pass which can lead to a goal scoring opportunity. Van de Beek is 24, so still a young player capable of playing at a high level, yet to prove himself in the Premier League, ambitious to achieve, and can definitely be a replacement for Juan Mata as his time at the club comes to an end. Solskjaer has limited options in that position anyway if he does switch to the 4-3-3, so this may force him into using Donny van de Beek, and then it's not a matter of if he will play because he will be needed in this formation. But probably the biggest thing to make all of this work is Manchester United signing a defensive midfielder. That is what makes this formation work for the team. Signing a good player to play in that lone defensive midfielder role, this would affect Donny van de Beek, Fernandes, all the attacking players. A good player in that position frees up all of those players in the attack, so that is what is needed by United this summer. If you did enjoy, then please like the video, it's very much appreciated as it helps the videos getting found, and let me know how many goals and assists do you think Donny van de Beek will get this season. I recommend that you don't miss out on future videos. Subscribe to Route 1 and like the video if you did enjoy.